Being here to celebrate the 50th anniversary of women competing in sports at Dartmouth is a joy. One, because my own athletic experience was so formative to me as a person and also as an athlete. And also because I love traditions and I feel like I've always just wanted to be included. And I feel like everyone on a team has that energy of wanting to be included. And the thought that there's a bigger team, which is all the women that have ever competed for Dartmouth, that get to come together and celebrate that team is so lovely. So I'm thrilled to be here. Succeeding as a student athlete at Dartmouth, I think takes a very specific shift from seeing sports and everything in your life as a choice rather than a sacrifice. And I think because I remember it was very challenging, right? There was a balance of academics, of social life, of wanting to be in college and of wanting to compete and all the other things. And objectively, it was challenging. There were deadlines, there were races and all that, but subjectively, we always had a choice to see it as a choice. And I remember specifically, there was a time when I decided to not go to the parties, right? We were not going to the parties on the Friday night, but we still wanted to feel included. And so my teammates and I wore our pajamas and sat and kind of did our work and maybe watched a movie in the lobby of, we did sometimes Collis and sometimes in the library. And we would watch people like socializing, going from party to party. And we were included in that way, but we were also feeling like we were making an empowered choice to go to bed early and to go to the race the next day. So I feel like Dartmouth gives you the opportunity to have both and also see it as like a beautiful choice. The rule of thirds is something I learned from my Olympic coach. The rule of thirds said that if we are chasing a dream or doing anything hard that we haven't done before, we are meant to feel good a third of the time, okay a third of the time, and not great a third of the time. And I got that advice when I was having a really tough day on the track. And I didn't know what to feel about it. I was like, does this mean I'm not ready for the Olympics? What does it mean? And it actually just meant I was right on track because my not so great third was fitting into its space, and it wasn't taking up too much space. And I think that's the other thing that I needed to take note of was I feeling too good all the time? Maybe that meant I wasn't pushing myself. If we feel too bad all the time, we might be fatiguing or doing something unsustainable. So the rule of thirds, I think, lets you relish and enjoy the hard days as part of that dream chasing. And it also allows you to have kind of a check of, is this out of balance? Is it too much on either end of the spectrum? I think the mental health conversation, particularly in athletics, has evolved so much since, when I was a student, since when I was an Olympic athlete competing in Rio. At that time, it was like a well-known secret. Now, I think it's very common knowledge that mental health exists generally. It's a conversation we're used to hearing. And I think we're now ready to turn it into action and solution. I think people are ready for that. And to me, the most life-changing thing that I learned was to see my brain as a body part that could get injured or be challenged just like any other body part and could heal or be managed just like any other body part. So in that sense, when I had a situational depression after the Olympics, which is very normal to be on such a peak and then to feel like you're kind of dropped all of a sudden and you can come back to being okay again, but it takes time and actions. And the big shift was seeing my brain as a body part and then approaching my mental health like I would my physical health. And I think the shift we can make together is to really lean into that metaphor. Look, I found support in the smaller communities I was in. So I was in an improv group, I was on a team, I was in a sorority. And I do think that those smaller communities helped give me perspective because all of them had their own unique challenges and they gave me support. But I did need to ask for it. What actually really helped me was finding a mentor or two in professors. I will also say that, not that professors they're not medical professionals, but they are in a different place in life than students are. And so I was really grateful to have a few mentors and professors who I could go to with some of those like challenging questions, anxieties, future stuff. And they just had like a different lens to lend to my experience. And that was really unique, I think, to Dartmouth, is having the ability to have a connection with a professor like that was really special.